Is player power on the rise again at Manchester United? Big reports today that the players pretty much universally support the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino over anybody else this summer to be the next Manchester United manager. The Telegraph also claimed that the next 4 games will be crucial in deciding Ralf Rangnick's fate. Ralf Rangnick's fate, a few months in, already being looked at and considered by Manchester United. And what is very interesting about this report is the simple fact that Ralf Rangnick himself appears to actually prefer the appointment of Ten Hag. That is who he thinks would be the best manager to come in next for Manchester United. That is who he thinks would be the right person to take this squad with his ideas, his philosophy to that next level. But who will this Manchester United board listen to? A football man, a football person, somebody with a pedigree as a DOF, somebody that has built the RB project from the absolute bottom up with one of the best scouting networks, one of the best minds at picking out players to suit particular systems, one of the most respected men in football in that area, in that sort of department of the game. Are they going to listen to him, or are they going to listen to a bunch of prima donnas? I'm at a point where I think whatever this squad wants, I would almost do the opposite. Could Manchester United again be about to make the simple mistake of listening to the squad? Support for Poch might be higher, but why? Why is the support for Poch so high? Is it because they believe he is the right manager to take them forward? Or is it because they believe it may be a slightly easier ride underneath him? Maybe I'm being overtly negative at this news, but it's breaking news this morning for Man United fans. Mauricio Pochettino wanted by the majority of the squad. He is the bookies' favourites to take over from Ralf Rangnick. This is an absolute fact. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Get your comments in. Let's do this. Good morning, one and all. Mauricio Pochettino is again heavily linked with Manchester United. This deal, according to the Telegraph, could be very, very close indeed, with Man United maybe acting very swiftly to get this deal over the line. It was only reported last week that the Paris St-Germain board, via Le Parisien, the most credible outlet in France, that they will be letting him go irrespective of his successes this season at the end of the campaign, with Zinedine Zidane one of the favourites to replace him there. This is kind of echoed again this morning. I'm reading this article here in the Telegraph that turns around and says, it says here that Ralf Rangnick, who replaced Solskjaer as interim boss in November, is due to remain in charge until the end of the season, when United are expected to move a new manager in for a huge summer ahead. But the situation could come to a head before then. And in the case of Pochettino, Man United may have to move quickly, regardless, given rivals' interest in the former Tottenham manager. But it does appear there are still a large number of clubs across Europe that are interested in Poch. And what Man United don't want to do is miss out on their number one target. We missed out on Klopp in the past. We missed out on Pep twice since Fergie retired. This is something Man United want to try and avoid. We spoke about this last week on the Terrace, that this deal could get done very, very soon. This deal could be over the line. This could be a deal that sees Poch announced as manager in the next 4 to 5 weeks, especially if Paris Saint-Germain fall out of the Champions League to Real Madrid. But the question remains whether it's the right option for Manchester United, whether it's the right direction for Manchester United. We've already seen the volume of money ploughed into each manager with a different philosophy that goes against the grain of the previous person. Each time, less and less and less we win. Each time we end up in a more precarious situation as a football club. We need a bigger rebuild. We need a bigger cultural overhaul. Could we be about to embark on exactly the same thing here? Could we be about to see a squad wanting something versus what I know he's in as a consultant, but you bring someone like Ralf Rangnick in for a reason. And for me, what stands out to me hugely in this story, if Ralf thinks Ten Hag is the guy, if Ralf wants to go upstairs with Ten Hag as his manager, we should be listening. I believe if Poch comes in, and this is against the wishes of Ralf, I think we see Ralf move on. If Ralf moves on, I don't have enough faith that Myrtle and Fletcher are going to have the power they need or be given the power they need to run the footballing element at board level. Therefore, the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino, forget what he can and can't do on the pitch, could end up being an absolute mess. What this article goes on in the Telegraph this morning to say here is that Erik ten Hag's credentials are also likely to feature prominently in this conversation via Ralf Rangnick, who is in line to take on a consultancy role at United in the summer. It's understood that he is a big admirer of the Dutchman and what he has done over the past 4 years as Ajax coach. He says Ajax are currently reeling from the sudden departure of Mark Overmars, who resigned at the weekend. Rangnick has said previously that he could put himself forward as the permanent manager. But the 63-year-old German faces a battle to qualify United for next season's Champions League, and it is unclear at this stage how much input he will have into choosing the next manager. And that part of the article is key. Doesn't seem to me like they're listening to Ralf. I've had that feeling for a good few weeks now since we had Dean Jones on the show. He's kind of there, but I don't think he's happy. I don't think he's happy with the level of input he's getting. I think this is why we're seeing certain players still not fully committed to the team. We've seen certain individuals undermining the manager. We've seen certain individuals, and it doesn't appear to be any real disciplinary backlash on the side of it. We still don't know what particular players are doing, whose contracts are running down, because nobody has any idea who's going to be here next year. There is no way after over 2 months in the job that Ralf hasn't sat down with this board and said, this is what's got to happen. This is what should happen. This is what we need to do. It is an absolute joke. Everybody knows my personal opinion on Mauricio Pochettino. I'm nailing my flag to the mast, as it were. I do not want him as the Man United manager. I think that he lacks the credentials. I think that he has failed at the biggest stages so far. And there is nothing about him that convinces me that he could be a successful Manchester United manager. Not with the modern day pressures, not with the need for instant gratification, not with the need to win, and not with the ability to have to manage the egos at the club. But I believe that Man United will look to appoint him. Yes, the players might want him, but I think that's because some of the players know that he's an easier ride. I think the board would prefer him because he's more of a yes man. I think the board, one of the things that we were told about Rangnick, which may damage him staying at Man United permanently, is him being too difficult to work with. It's the very reason Antonio Conte wasn't employed. The Man United board, i.e. the owners, didn't want the challenge. They didn't want the fallout of not doing what he wants and then him kicking off, and rightfully kicking off. Having high standards is bad news for Manchester United Football Club. And we are seeing it again now. These high standards of people like Ralf Rangnick, Ten Hag, Antonio Conte cannot be matched or won't be matched by Manchester United. They will make decisions based on commerciality. They will base decisions on how much money they can make out of the situation rather than what is best on the field of play. Now, I will add and I will caveat in this because I know some people are already commenting and thinking I'm being too negative. So I'll throw this in. There is added benefit to bringing in a manager that the squad wants. But I have never in my life seen staff employ their boss. Should never happen. The boss should be instilled because he's going to play the style of football and have the managerial credentials and have the disciplinarian nature that matches the philosophy of the football club. Man United has no philosophy. We jump from manager to manager to manager to manager, and that changes every single time. The point of bringing Ralf in as a consultant to begin with, 2 years, by the way, is to listen to his advice. And the only way I'm going to change my mind about Poch and back him is if it is universally reported, credibly reported, that Poch is what Ralf thinks is best. And if Ralf thinks it's best, I'm going to back him. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm backing somebody with a hugely credible and successful track record of running the football elements of clubs. No disrespect to any of these players. What do they know about running a football club? Nothing. We get frustrated as Manchester United, for anyone who's backing their decision to want him. We get frustrated as Man United fans when ex-players with no credentials of running clubs get offered roles of running the club. Why does an active player change that? Why should an active player have any say? Or what is being reported almost like the biggest say at the very least. It's a joke. If Ralf backs this, if Ralf thinks it's the best thing for the club, I will get behind it. It doesn't mean I'll change my personal views on Mauricio Pochettino not being right or wrong, but I'll get behind the decision. I'll give it a period of time. I will be objective in my review of things. But if Ralf leaves and if Poch comes in, we will continue along our road, not road to ruin. We're already in the ruins. We're just going to keep walking around in circles, never progressing, not moving forward. This is big news that should not be ignored by Manchester United fans. Read the articles, not just the headlines. Go into intricate detail. The Telegraph, absolutely brilliant piece from them. A wonderful piece as well today in the Times that you should go and check out. The piece in the Times here by Paul Hurst is absolutely brilliant as well. So many media outlets reporting on this story. It's unbelievable. Do me a favor and leave me your comments below. This is the question, should Man United be listening to the players or should they be listening to Ralf Rangnick in this situation? And what do you think they're going to do? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Make sure you smash that like and share button and we'll see you all again.